I never could have predicted how important transcribing audio would come to be for just about everyone. Whether you're a student taking notes for a class, maybe you're a content creator like this video, I can take this transcription later on and repurpose it into a blog post or even have it generate some social media posts based on the transcription of this audio. Maybe you're just doing business meetings, sales calls. If you get permission to record the call, you can then later generate a transcription that you can use for a bulleted list of things that you need to get done in order to fulfill your commitment to that client. Transcriptions are something that I don't think anyone saw coming in terms of their importance, mainly because it used to be very expensive to get them done. These days, you can do it for practically nothing, as I'm about to show you with today's lifetime deal, UniScribe over at AppSumo. Now, UniScribe is currently just $39 at AppSumo. You pay that once and you're going to get a lifetime of transcriptions. How much? Well, let me show you here as we go to the plan details. There are actually two different plans available. One gives you 1,200 minutes per month. That's 20 hours, by the way. That's quite a bit of transcriptions. And if you need even more than that, you can pay a one-time fee of $109, and that will get you 60 hours, 6,000 minutes per month. So a ton of time here. I know that I'm not transcribing that much, and I think I'm a pretty active transcriptionist. Transcriptionist, is that a word? I'm not sure, but I do know that the tool I'm currently using is called MacWhisper. Now I have this MacWhisper Pro license right here, which is 59 euros, which equates to be about 67 US dollars. And the nice thing about this is it is a one-time fee, but it also runs locally on your computer. Now, as the name implies, it is Mac only, so you need to have a Mac computer in order to run this. And it does take quite a bit of processing power. So while that transcription is going, your computer might run a little bit slower, especially if you have an older machine. Now, I have a pretty fast machine, an M4 Max Mac Studio, so I'm going to be shooting out MacWhisper versus UniScribe to figure out which one actually transcribes things faster. Now, in terms of which one is better, well, they both have strengths and weaknesses. So a strength of UniScribe would be the fact that it's all done in the cloud. So even if it is slower, well, you can upload your files and then even turn off your machine and the transcription will eventually complete. You can also get sharing links to that transcription so that you don't need to worry about extra file sharing services like Dropbox or Google Drive to share the transcriptions later on. You can simply just share a link. Now, there's also benefits to tools like MacWhisper that you're not going to get out of any SaaS provider. Like, for example, I can use MacWhisper as a dictation tool anywhere in the Mac. I can record and transcribe instantly as I am typing. So that can be a very powerful tool, especially if maybe you have an injury to your hands, you're not able to type very much, or you're just a slow typer. MacWhisper can really speed up your productivity. So just know that both MacWhisper and UniScribe have their unique qualities that both make them good. So for the purpose of today's testing, we're simply looking at loading in an audio file and then having it output text. There are other things that each tool does, but that is the goal of this video, to find out which one does it better. Now, with the UniScribe interface, it's very simple to get started. We can click right up here to upload our audio or video file, or if you have a link you'd like to transcribe from, you can paste it in right here. I had UniScribe transcribe my most recent video. It was 27 minutes in length. It was able to grab the video and transcribe it all within 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Pretty impressive in my opinion. However, MacWhisper, on my very fast internet connection, I do have symmetrical 1 gig fiber, as well as a very fast computer, was able to complete the same task in almost a minute less. Now, these results are largely dependent on your internet connection and your computer's speed, as well as your willingness to let it take over your GPU power, because that's really what it's utilizing. Before I had this M4 Max Studio, I actually had an M1 Air notebook, and it would literally shut down the entire system while it was doing the transcription. I couldn't do anything else. It would just take all of the power available. And the transcriptions would take at least twice as long on that old M1 chip. Now, as far as the actual output inside of UniScribe, it does some things really nicely. I've got a nice transcript here. I can scroll through, go to any part of the transcript that I want, and then listen to the audio right here. So if I wanted to hear this line, I could just click the play button. It was time to update this video. And there it is. I can hear that audio, maybe check to make sure that transcription is accurate. If I find a mistake, which obviously these tools are going to make mistakes from time to time, although the accuracy is very, very high, higher than you might expect if you've never used them before, well, you just click on the little pencil icon right here, and then you can edit the transcript. Now, there are a few things about UniScribe that I do not like. First of all, it doesn't seem to have support for multiple speakers. I can't change the name of the speaker over here, whereas in MacWhisper, you can have multiple speakers and you can name them. There's also no search and replace, which is very important. Let's say you've got a product name that is consistently mentioned incorrectly. Well, you need to go through the entire transcription here and find the mistakes and update them manually. Of course, you can use your browser search. So let's search for Cloudways here, and it's going to find all of the instances of Cloudways, but now I've got to do it one by one. But in MacWhisper, there is find and replace functionality, so I can simply search for the word that was spelled incorrectly and then replace it, one click, and I'm all done. With UniScribe, we automatically get a summary of the transcription as well as a list of key points. This actually looks more like an FAQ to me. Notice that all of the headings here are questions, and then the answers are down below, which I think they're really high quality and very helpful. It could be good for generating FAQ sections, but it might be nice to have more of a bulleted list or an actual summary. I don't know why they're all formed as questions. There's also not an easy way to copy and paste this. I mean, obviously you could just select it, but having a little copy button here, I think would be a nice thing to add in. One other nice thing that UniScribe does, which I think is rather unique, is to generate a mind map from the transcription. I could see students really loving this feature. Record a lecture, do a transcription inside of UniScribe, and then you have a mind map of everything that was discussed. Really, really useful here. My only critique is if you download this, it downloads as a PNG file, which is an image file. It'd be nice to have it as, let's say, like a PDF that's a little bit more searchable. With MacWhisper, I can also connect up an API key to OpenAI or Claude and then chat with my transcripts after they're completed, have it summarize it, create bulleted lists, or even just ask it a question, which I find really handy, but you are on the hook for paying for the API key. So, it might be cheaper to just copy and paste into your ChatGPT Plus account if you're already paying for that. When you're all done with your transcription and you want to share it, there is a share button right up here. You'll get a link that you can simply copy and paste to anyone who needs access to it. That's a really nice feature. And of course, we can export our transcripts right here. We can export them in any of these files. We can do text files. If you're doing subtitles for things like YouTube, there is SRT and VTT options. I mentioned earlier that UniScribe does not seem to do speaker names. That might be coming because there is a checkbox to show speaker names. I just simply cannot figure out for the life of me how I might edit an actual speaker name here. It doesn't really give you the option. So I've looked everywhere. If anybody knows if speaker name editing is a thing, definitely drop me a comment down below. If you need support for multiple languages, don't worry, both MacWhisper and UniScribe support 98 languages. That's actually from the open source Whisper model from OpenAI. That supports 98 languages, so that's where that number is coming from. Overall, I think UniScribe is going to be worth it for anybody who needs cloud transcription. We're not talking about a lot of cash here, $39 as a one-time fee. And in fact, if you're an AppSumo Plus member, that number is going to drop to more like $35.10. You pay that once and you can do transcriptions basically as much as you need as long as it's under 20 hours per month. I think that's pretty generous. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend that anybody who needs to be doing more transcriptions, definitely check this out. Give it a try. You do get 60 days to try it out. And if you don't like it, you get the AppSumo refund policy, which I think is ridiculously generous. At the end of the day, I think UniScribe is a great tool. It does have some features that need to be added in, like that find and replace. That's probably the biggest one for me. Next up would be speaker names. I'm going to go ahead and give this tool a 7.6 out of 10. It's going to do it for this video. If you want to support my content, I have an AppSumo affiliate link down below. You can click that before making a purchase at AppSumo for UniScribe or anything else at their marketplace. A lot of great tools. I'm doing new LTD reviews every single day of the week here, Monday through Friday. So make sure you get subscribed if you're interested in finding more content for your business. My name is Dave. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.